While very rough around the edges and rife with bugs, Aztech Forgotten Gods is a beautiful story of a girl handling loss, moving on, and its rich cast of characters more than makes up for its lack of polish, leading to an ultimately fun game experience. Set in a world where Tenochtitlan, the city at the heart of the Aztec Empire, was never destroyed by European conquerors, we see a futuristic city with wonderful technological advancements that blends ancient cities with a glowy, neon cyberpunk feel. Described as a cyberstone action-adventure, Aztech Forgotten Gods is a third-person, linear action game that focuses on traversal and story more than anything else. While combat does play a part, it's very repetitive, and except for the boss battles, combat can be completely avoided. You play as Ashley, who discovers and wields an ancient relic in the form of a giant stone prosthetic arm that gives her the ability to fly, fight, and collect energy from ancient energy cores. With this discovery comes 6 newly awakened gods from a time long ago who threaten to destroy her city, so Ashley must face her fears and her past to battle these gods and overcome possibly her biggest obstacle, herself. Gameplay consists mainly of traversing through this world by flying with this gauntlet, think like one of Iron Man's jetpack hand things, and some combat which involves pressing your attack button at the right time to complete combos and finishers. You do unlock other combat abilities like a long-range blast, a charged fist attack, and a downwards thrust, but combat for the most part comes down to charging up your fist and releasing at the right time to destroy your enemy. Thankfully, the traversal is handled so well, I can't remember the last game that got flying to feel so good. You can propel yourself up or in any direction and soar through the skies at pretty decent speeds. Various boost pads can be found floating in the skies that not only give you a little extra speed, but help restore some of the energy needed to keep yourself flying. Touching the wall, the ground, or another object lets Ashley sprint along it, regaining some of her energy needed to keep flying, which makes traversal very fast and smooth once you get the hang of it. Upgrades to the gauntlet can be unlocked to allow you to store more energy, or go at faster speeds both on the ground and in air. There are also small side quests that can be completed that boil down to either a battle challenge in which you need to defeat a certain number of enemies in a short amount of time, a race where you need to fly close to a drone long enough for it to stop so you can destroy it, or a memory where you can unlock a little bit of lore about the game. Similar to games like Shadow of the Colossus, boss battles with these various different gods are where the main action of this game is. You'll complete a story beat by speaking with your mother. That usually has you unlocking a new upgrade for your gauntlet, and then fly to the next boss, battle, then rinse and repeat. Each boss has slightly different mechanics and are larger than life battles that will have you zipping around a small arena, avoiding attacks and looking for openings to fight. There are also some nice optional customization features like the ability to purchase different outfits and hairstyles for Ashley. Graphically, Aztech Forgotten Gods looks like something from the PS3 era of games. Textures are low, animations are really stiff and awkward, there's a lot of clipping on things like the main character's hair, NPCs are very low res and some look outright laughable, and oftentimes you'll find yourself fighting with the camera. While I found it difficult to look past this at the very start of the game, the more I played and became invested in the story, I realized the less I cared about the graphics because I was having so much fun. Despite its graphical drawbacks, flying through the city feels so good and the characters are so relatable that by the end of my 5 or 6 hour journey, I wasn't even noticing these flaws anymore. Aztech Forgotten Gods has a rocking soundtrack that caught me off guard at first, but I warmed to it as I played more. The one thing I really wish this game had was voice acting, as all the dialogue is presented in text prompts, and while the writing is fairly well done, hearing the same small grunts and noises as each character talks is a huge disservice to how likable they all are. Aztech Forgotten Gods does include a platinum trophy that I was able to get in 7 hours. I took about 6 hours on my first playthrough, collecting every upgrade, every side quest, and completing it 100%. There are no difficulty trophies, so you can play on easy, medium, or hard, and nothing is missable. However, there is a speedrun trophy of beating the game in under 2 hours. I chose to do this on a second playthrough as the dialogue and story take up a lot of the time. Playing a second time, ignoring all the side content and skipping all the cutscenes, I was able to complete the game in just about 1 hour easily. So overall, I'd say this is a very easy platinum to get. Ultimately, I had a really enjoyable time with Aztech Forgotten Gods. I did encounter a lot of bugs like falling through structures and getting trapped in areas I'm not supposed to be in, especially during my speedrun where I was skipping all cutscenes. Thankfully, the game has a very forgiving autosave feature, so I never really lost much progress. The graphics are a little dated, and the audio is a bit disappointing, but when I think back on the game, it makes me smile. The story, while a little predictable, the characters and the boss battle all just hit the right note with me. And then there's the traversal. There's just something so cool about being able to blast yourself high into the air and fly around that really left a lasting impression on me. I'd rate Aztech Forgotten Gods a 7 out of 10. It's available on basically all platforms: PS4, PS5, Series X and S, Xbox One, Switch, and Steam and Epic Games Store, and I think you really should give it a try. While not as flashy as a lot of other games that have come out recently, Aztech makes up for it with heart and just good old fun. A huge thank you to Lienzo for sending me a review copy of the game on PS5, and an even bigger thank you for watching. Your support means everything to me. Trophy guides are already up on the channel if you need any help, and as always, happy gaming.